And I think we're probably ready to start, Anne, because I think most people are here now.
Okay. Okay, so we're, oh, can't see my notes now. So today's webinar is on Introduction to Building Your Membership. What we're really looking at is that Penn is a membership organisation. All right, Holly.
Just getting the slideshow up. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, great, thanks. Penn is a membership organisation, and sustainability and work in your centres is reliant on writers joining the centre and dedicating their time and feeling part of something important. And the sustainability of the projects you deliver on is dependent on this, and the growth of the movement is also dependent on your membership. So what I'd like you all to do is to write one thing. Do you want me to go through that first, Holly? Yeah. So the timing or the workshop structure is we're doing the introductions, and then we'll have a little opening activity. And then Penn, Myanmar, Norway and Sierra Leone have kindly agreed to share their lessons and experiences in building membership, and we'll give plenty of time to that. And then at 11:45, we're hoping to go into group work. But I'm just going to warn you all now that if the lessons from the 3 countries, there's lots more for you to draw out and you want to ask questions and things, and it eats into the group work time, that will be okay. We realise that you're here to learn, and the 3 people who are going to share their lessons, they're the ones we're going to learn from. So we will do that, and we'll adjust the timing accordingly. So be patient, and possibly we may not get to group work. I don't know, we'll see. So what I'd like everyone to do now is write one thing in the chat box that you would like to do better or differently in terms of your membership. So what different thing, or what would you want to do better in terms of your own membership in your centre, your Penn centre? I'll give you a few minutes to write something. Okay, so Sylvester wants to increase the membership. Lai wants to improve communication. Reaching out to younger people, that's interesting, thanks. Drama. Daphne is for our membership. We would like to increase participation, especially from members in rural areas. Yes, that would be interesting. Creating space, Andrea says, for everyone feels they can contribute. Good. Beatrice, keeping the members actively involved. Lots of activities in rural areas from William. Consolidating our membership through online communication from Alio. And Lee, as we're still formally setting up our organisation, oh, I slipped. Oh, we're getting through lots now. Okay, so what I'm going to get you to do is, Holly, shall we go back to screen, is to get each of you to talk about what you want to do. You've written them in there and we will capture those in the chat box. What I'm going to get each of you to do is very quickly introduce yourselves and just share what it is you would like to improve or change. And we'll do it the same as we did before. ask somebody to start, and then each of you can pass the baton to another member. So I'm going to ask Folu if you could start by talking about what it is you introduce yourself and what it is you would like to improve or change in your membership. You're on mute, Folu.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. I'm Folu Agoy from Nigeria. I would really, as I said, like to reach out to more younger people, especially in the rural settings. Lagos is a city, and we want to be able to reach out to other people, especially in the rural environment, and possibly maybe engage more in the mother tongue, apart from English.
Good. So would you like to introduce somebody else, Folu?
What?
Would you like to ask somebody else to introduce themselves?
Yes. Aliu, long time no see. Aliu, could you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, thanks very much, Aliu from Nigeria. I'm Penn. I'm a writer. Yes, and that's of Penn. Thank you.
And what would you like to do to improve your membership? Or what would you like to do differently?
Well, like I've said, we'd like to get out to more members. We'd like to continue our membership drive, building drive, to get out to the youth. Like Farouk said, to get to the youth, especially in the regional area where especially we are working, where facilities are very difficult to get to the people. So we like to get there to get the young people, to get the youths to involve them in our literary activities. And also we like to improve our communications. We like to build on our online communication so that we will get to a wider public, to a wider world, and through that will increase our visibility so that people can follow what we are doing.
Brilliant. Thanks, Aliu. Would you like to pass on to somebody else? Okay.
Yeah, yes, I would like to ask Bernadette to introduce herself, my colleague here at Penn.
Thanks, Aliu. Sorry, Holly.
Yeah.
And then after that, maybe we can pass on to Martida because she has to continue her travels. So she just has a short amount of time to.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I am Bernadette Mokai from Penn. I am the treasurer and an author.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
I am Bernadette Mokai from Penn. I am the treasurer and an author.
Okay. Welcome.
This webinar.
Martida?
Yes. Can I talk now?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, thank you so much for understanding me. Hi, everybody. I just want to share how we built membership. We started running Penn Myanmar in 2013. And right now we having active members around about 100. And all over the country, it's around about 200 membership so far. But to be frank, we focus more on the quality and the belief rather than the quantity. So for that reason, we have done a couple of things so far. So for the first time, it's pretty hard. You have many membership, because as you all know, the riders are pretty much independent and individualists. So we bring some famous riders, influential riders, get involved in our activities or be elected as a members of both. So then we can raise awareness among other riders. But on one hand, the question is, they are just interested in literature activities, literature related activities, not much in advocacy, you know, the freedom of expression, advocacy issues, such and such. So a lot of the riders are not much interested in these. Then we having such a big gap, because most of the Penn Myanmar activities are in all together 3 areas. One is strongly in advocacy, working together with national level and regional level governments and parliaments. And with the civil society organizations. So we have such a big workload with this. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. So the second thing is we do a lot of the literature activities too. So for example, like our Literature for Everyone, this is kind of the very different form of literature presentation, especially in Myanmar, to ignite more kind of the non-writers, non-literature people get involved in our activity. So even we reach out to the illiterate people, you know, we just want to share how the literature is valuable, and the platform for the practicing their rights, freedom of expression is valuable, even though they are illiterate. So we have so many different activities. Then, after a couple of years, a lot of non-writers people started interested in, you know, they have no fame in the literature field, but they interested in the activity, so they got involved. So doing this, we can build a little bit from the every society, not among the writers and the journalists, you know. So now, we got a couple of funding from the other area. So one of the funded projects, we focus on recruiting students from the university students' unions. We do have a lot of student unions at the, so many different universities. So we're doing kind of the TOD, we got the TOD, training of the trainers, with these students, all about freedom of expression, advocacy issue. So then, among them, we make the 2 level. First level is the basic knowledge about freedom of expression, hate speech, etc., etc. And then for the second level, is more with the existing law, constitutional hindrance, prohibiting to practice freedom of expression, something like that. So that's 1-year project has been finished, and we can pick who's among these students are promising enough to become the trainers. So then coming in end of this month, we will start a new project, and this new project will help them to have their own small organization in their own regions, leading by those our trained students. And then we will give some amount of money to do some activities by themselves. So then we can expand our membership among youth. That's the way we're recruiting now, because we cannot just rely on the writers, but we really want to expand our boundaries and membership among the youth. So for that reason, we train students first, and then we believe in that. We just say, okay, here is a couple amount of funding, you can apply, and we will join, some of our expertise will join their training, and then they can keep doing such small little part. They are still part of our Penn Myanmar membership. you know, but they, at the same time, they can have their own projects. They're doing small little activities in their own regions, and they should be become the voices, and they should, if they really want to have their own organization, we will be very happy to support them. So in this tactics, we keep growing our membership. That's our past and future plan. Yeah.
Brilliant. Do you have time for a few questions, Matilda?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. I will go back to the introductions, but if anyone has any questions for Matilda, they could ask them now before she has to leave. No?
I also would like to mention about the funding for the civil society grant. It's really, really helpful to host Literature for Everyone activities. So this is Literature for Everyone activities is kind of the platform for our members writers to practice their freedom of expression and to recite their own literature pieces to reach out to the grassroots. But at the same time, it's a platform, it's a kind of the very, very interactive activities we design. For that reason, this activities is not just for practicing ourselves, but also we can pick up for whom to recruit. You know, we can say, and a lot of new members came through these activities, and a lot of young people who became sort of the established writers through this activity too. So this platform, we using mutual benefit among ourselves, our members, and the non-members to become our members. Yeah. So I'm really grateful for the civil society.
Great. Anne-Lee, did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. And I'm a playwright from Malaysia. I'm also treasurer of Penn, Malaysia. What is your, for students, do you have a different membership fee? How do you charge?
Grant, yeah. Yes, for non-writers, it's half of the fees of the normal members, charge non-writers members, especially for the students. Yeah, and we also make the incentives. For example, like we announced we're going to publish the magazines, and then if your piece will be selected, your memberships will fees will be exempted for 6 months, something like that. We won't give any loyalty, but we grant you for 6 months membership fees free, something like that. Yeah.
Brilliant. Any other questions?
Thank you.
I think there's one from Yawn in the chat box.
Oh, Yawn, sorry. Any criteria? Yawn is asking if there's any criteria for members.
We have two categories. One is one should have any piece writers, publisher, script writers, anything. And another one is who interested in the freedom of expressions or the literature activity. So it's pretty much broad membership. What we have is if you are the normal member, we call that kind of the student and non-writers member as a guest membership, you know. So guest membership, you can vote, but you cannot be elected as a board members. Board members, you can vote and you can be elected as a board members. But we also make sure that if you are not a writer, you are only a guest member, but if you organize or initiated some brilliant activities, very crucial walks. Both members of the BODs of Penn Myanmar can decide to promote you from guest member to normal member. Then you can be elected as a board member, something like that. So there are some incentives for the guest member dues. Without, they don't need to be the writers or the journalists. They can just be dedicated and committed to our activities. Then they can be part of our decision-making process.
Great, thank you. Does that answer your question, Jorn?
I think he had a follow-up question as well.
Oh, okay. He's asking if that is successful and are they interested to join as members?
Well, you know, I think the key thing is, as soon as we started, we have been doing a lot of activities indeed without having any funding. We just committed to our activities. You know, we have no office. When we started, there is no office space, nothing. But we do a lot of activities, especially from my own pocket money. I have contributed a lot of things, and then we do a lot of activities. That's why people noticing Penn Myanmar is doing something very meaningful. And then since we focusing on both advocacy and literature, we can get attraction not just from the literature writers, but also from the journalists and the other civil society organizations. For that reason, I think within these 7 years, Penn Myanmar has been pretty much grown up. So in 2013, we have no office. Now we have a pretty large office, and the total number of paid staff is now 9 persons already. So all of our board members are still volunteer as our constitution, but we do have paid staff, 9 persons, and we are running a lot of programs. Most of its programs are focusing on the advocacy. Now I'm on my way back home, but we just finished meeting with the Union Election Commission and the Anti-Corruption Commission. You know, so it's about the right to information law advocacy trip and the awareness advocacy trip. And then next week, we are going to Irrawaddy Division. We're going to meet the regional parliamentarians. It's another advocacy activities focusing mainly on the freedom of expression plus right to information. So there are so many other activities we have been doing a lot. And then I think another thing is we have been waiting for this chance. A lot of our people, until 2012, there was the censorship. For that reason, people are dying enough to enjoy this kind of activities. For that reason, we can recruit easily.
Great, thanks, Matilda. Danson has asked, if you're just 7 years old and yet you have 200 members, what do you attribute this huge success to? You're muted. Okay.
Yes, yeah, this is just an overview. I think within 7 years, we have been doing a lot already. For example, regarding with the hate speech, so we have so many different targeted aims and activities, related activities. So for example, like direct advocacy with the regional governments and the parliamentarians for this hate speech, how to combat hate speech, something like that. So on the other hand, through the literature activities, we making some sort of the contest, short story contest, poetry contest, but theme is the peace and anti-discrimination. And then we also do the group poetry performance contest, because, you know, sometimes that we say poetry contest is more like the individual things, but what we want is the collective activity. So we have a condition, you can join the contest, a poetry performance, the theme should be the non-discrimination and the peace, but also your team should include diverse society, you know, different ethnic groups, different religions should include in your group, making the group poetry performance. So we also make sure we have some expertise to help.
Oh, you're frozen.
And then make the activity, something like that. So there are we usually got a series of fundings because of our very active activities. We granted, so for example, like this, the students' unions training of trainer. So we have gone the first year, and the donor is the Canada Embassy. The CFLI project is a Canada funding for the living initiative. So this Canadian embassies enjoying thoroughly with the activity, so they granted for next year, something like that. We have been extending not just the funding, but also the period of the activity. So for that, we can do more and more activities and building up. Yeah.
Folu is asking how active are your members in the area of financial commitment?
Well, it's it's very hard, you know, even though we charge them less than $1 per month for the normal membership, most of them never pay. That's the big challenge still. For the guest members, more or less the same. For that reason, we just ask them, okay, join the activities, we can make you the exemption. So we normally use our co-funding to pay the center due for Penn International, to be frank, you know. Normally we cannot get the financial, but by having a lot of the fundings for the activities, we can save some money for our co-funding. You know, now some percentage can go to our co-funding. So through co-funding, we cover for their membership fees, but if we want them to keeping with us, we cannot push them for asking membership fees. For that reason, we just say, okay, we can forget about the past. If you pay from this month for next 6 months, you still be the member of us, something like that. We use a lot of the convincing strategy to keep them with us. There will be no way.
Thank you. And Bernadette asks about the challenges of keeping young members. What are the challenges with youth?
The key challenge here in Myanmar is they really don't know what happened in the past. They are very active in the current situation. They know a little bit about current situation, but they cannot relate how the past experience still matters for the future, something like that. They cannot relate the past knowledge to the current situation, something like that. For that reason, we need to give them more active training, you know, not just about the theme and the essence of the freedom of expression. We also give them the whole knowledge about what happened in the past, what is the problem, something like that. So the challenge is, indeed, to be frank, we very, very happy with the current Students' Unions group. They are among other Students' Union groups. What we recruited, this group is very talented, dedicated, and very active. For that reason, we planning to build them as their own small organizations to run active in their regions. So we focus, and then, you know, we do have 7 divisions and 7 states. 7 divisions is mainly Burma majority, the Buddhist majority, but 7 states are non-Burma and non-Buddhist community. So most of our activities aim for non-Burma and non-Buddhist communities, but we still want the Burma, the Buddhist communities to know more about it in order to make more harmony. So we are pretty much strategic in choosing the area for doing activities, not just the youths, but also this kind of thing. Yeah.
Great.
And I noticed about the challenge with the government. Yeah, indeed, challenge with the government is now very, very big challenge, because it's about to have the election. So none of the regional governments nor the regional parliaments are willing to host our activities. It's really hard now. They just say, oh, we are so busy with COVID, with the election, so and so, because for them the freedom of expression is not the priority issue, so it's hard. But the good thing is myself and the from 2016 to 2019 we do have another president, and the current president, both of three of us are all dissidents or political prisoners. So current governments, most of the regional chief ministers and the speakers of the regional parliaments are more or less political prisoners. So with our own reputation, our own connection, we can still convince some of them. So that's a good thing about. I think this kind of the influential writers and the journalists to be part of the board of the Penn Center is very important, in order to reach out to the governments and the parliaments, With their reputation, it's easier than the other organizations, So compared to the other organization, working on the freedom of expression, Penn Myanmar still have a space to work with these people because of this kind of influential people.
Okay. William would like to know how you source funds to pay your staff.
Well, most of our projects, in the past, we never ever have that kind of strategy. I just use my own pocket money to pay for the staff, something like that. But after building up, I think since 2015 onwards, then America is also helping us for sorting out a lot of our own policy. Now, Penn Myanmar have our own financial policy, human resource policy, sexual harassment policy, such and such. So we building at so many. So since we can show, and we also make every year the audit, internal audit and external audit, because we also register at the government level with the three ministries. So we have to submit our yearly report and yearly budget financial report either to our government or to our donors, something like that. Since we have been handling this, we try to include, for example, like our program manager, the 20% of his salaries from one project and another 20% from the another project, something like that. So we try to cover their salaries from different projects. And every year during our strategy meeting, all the board members, especially the treasurers and the financial manager and the treasurer working seriously on how much amount of the funding should reserve for the salaries. And then we also have a policy how to reserve our core fundings in case if we cannot run anymore, touch wood, something like that. So we still need to cover the salary of the staff. You can imagine 9% salary, something like that. So we divided our co-fundings into 3 parts to cover the fundings to something like that. So we do have a very strong policy decision making every year and off and on. So that's how we build up.
Brilliant. Anne Lee has asked you a question about the linking with international organisations and how you can explain your relationship with Penn International in your marketing alliances.
Indeed, you know, to be frank, I having recognized as a well-connected person because of my past experience. I have been involved with so many activities, so many international organizations already. So yeah, for that reason, it's easier to get funding from the different organization. And I also, most of the Pan Myanmar fundings in the past is mainly through the Pan America and Pan Canada. But now we're moving. I intentionally try to get more funding from other part of the world because we want to have a balanced funding sources. Otherwise, we really want to keep our independence, to be frank, the independence of the Pan Myanmar Center. For that reason, we try to get the fundings. And then once we got funding from the Pan Norway for this literature for everyone project, now we having receiving from the CFLI, it's me from the Canada and other small grants, sub-regional small grants is still we having chasing up, you know, local embassies or the foundation like Goethe Institute, British Council, so such and such are I think available anywhere in the world. So, but the decision makers or the leaders of the Penn Center should involve in their activities, you know. So we also got research funding from the British SOAS universities and other universities. It's a collective funding. So we have done the inclusiveness in literature research through this funding. So I try to reach out to the different funding sources to make balance, and yeah, that kind of the relationship. For that reason, yeah, I need to commit to so many different activities, you know. So it's not easy. I know it's very hard work, but you know, as long as I committed and take part in these different kind of the activities, is pretty much benefit for the center. For that reason, yeah, I try to commit and connect it.
Brilliant, thank you, Mathilde. I was just wondering, are you happy if people email you any questions afterwards? Because I believe you have to leave soon, so.
Yeah. Please do send me emails. Yeah, I'd be happy to share. And yeah, I think you really want to encourage all of you. Yeah, there will be ways. And the only one thing from us as a center is a commitment and keep doing anything you truly believe and you really need to do, and then the fundings will follow you. Indeed, to be frank, yeah, sometimes according to my experience, sometimes the funders just ask me, you know, now it's finishing our financial year, we do have such and such fundings, we want you to use it, something like that. What kind of project are you thinking or dreaming, something like that. So it's up to us. As long as we commit it, we believe, and we dedicate it, that there will be ways. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mathilde, and thank you for your time and your discussion. Really grateful.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. And please excuse me, I still need to go more than 100 miles. So yeah, thank you.
Okay,
thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so shall we go back to introductions, but we'll do them very quickly, maybe just 30 seconds each. So who should I start with? Andrea, maybe you could go next.
Just need to find the unmute button. My name is Andrea Lešić. I'm from the Penn, Bosnia and Herzegovina. I think the main thing you need to know is that we had the sort of lost 5 years of cynicism and internal conflicts, and we are slowly getting back on our feet now. So this is extremely useful for me to hear the others' experiences in this area.
Excellent, thank you. So I just move on to Bosedi.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Bosedi Afolayan, and I'm from Penn, Nigeria. I'm a member of the Women Writers Committee, and I'm happy to be here to learn so much about Penn International and every other country's centers. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Jorn, would you like to introduce yourself? You're muted, Jorn.
Hello, everyone. I'm John from Penn, Cambodia. I'm a president of the Penn, Cambodia. And here with
Tong Him, a member of Penn, Cambodia, and Secretary and Treasury in Penn, Cambodia. Hi, everyone. Yeah. Hope.
Okay.
Happy to see you today. See you all today.
Good. Abdullah? You're muted.
Unmute. Okay.
Great.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. I am Abdullah Silla from Penn, Guinea-Bissau. Well, our center was created or admitted in the Penn family in 2018. So we are still in the initial phase, trying to get some visibility and attract members. So far, we are 20 members, and we are expecting to get at least 10 more in the next time.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. William? Are you there, William? You're muted. Great.
Yes, can you hear me now?
We can.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is William from Malawi. I'm a writer, poet, and teacher, member of Penn, Malawi. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anne-Lee?
Hi, I'm a playwright primarily. I'm treasurer of Penn Malaysia, and it's great to my first webinar. So thank you very much, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Alio, you've introduced yourself. Unduko?
Yeah, good to see all of you. My name is Nduko Omatigere, the Africa Program Coordinator, Penn International. Glad to be with you this afternoon.
Yes.
Brilliant. Patricia? You're still on mute. You're on mute, Patricia.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
That's better. Good. Hi.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Patricia Konje Kanyerere. I am from Penn, Malawi. I am one of the team leaders. Yeah. Anything else?
No, that's fine. We just want to know who you are, Patricia. Welcome. Mohammed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mohammed.
Yes. Hello. I hope all of you are fine, and after long days, we are here again. I am Muhammad Muhyiddin from Secretary General Penn, Bangladesh. I'm a fictionist and short story writer here, and I would like to express my opinion and comments and discussion about membership now or later.
I think we'll do the introductions first, and then and then we'll have some discussions afterwards. Yes, that'd be great. Thanks, Muhyiddin. Thank you. Musa.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm happy to be back again in the forum or in the meeting, and I welcome everybody. I'm seeing some new faces. Hello to everyone.
Hello, welcome. Helga.
You said Helga, that means, well, yeah, it's Hege.
Hege, sorry, yeah. I apologize so much.
So I was a bit confused. No, that's fine. Shall I have my introduction now, or I'm just saying who I am?
Let's just do introductions, everyone, and then we'll do your little presentation after.
Yeah, I'm Hege. I'm Hege News from Norwegian Penn, or Penn, Norway, yeah.
Brilliant, thank you. Romana, do you want to introduce yourself quickly?
Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to see all your lovely faces. I'm Romana Cacchioli. I head the international programs team. As you may know, I work very closely with Holly, and we are responsible. I'm working obviously with Nduko and with Ross and the whole team at the Secretariat, and we're responsible for supporting you with the civil society programs. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Romana. Daphne?
Hi, everyone. My name is Daphne Jenna. I'm from Zimbabwe. I am the secretary for Penn, Zimbabwe.
Brilliant. Good. Welcome. Bernadette. Bernadette. You're on mute. Hi.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bernadette Mukai from Penn, Sierra Leone. I'm the treasurer, and I'm here to learn. This is my first webinar, so.
Welcome. Welcome very much. Welcome very much. Samuel. Samuel, you're muted.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
Yes, I'm Samuel Makore. I'm the treasurer of Penn, Zimbabwe, based in Harare. I'm an author. I've covered quite a number of areas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Samuel. Alicia?
Hello, everybody. I'm Eli.
Oh, you're having problems with your Wi-Fi, I think, Alicia. Welcome. Where's he? Where's he? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Sorry, I'm having problems with my camera. So
okay.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. My name is Wezin Sukwa Panje. I am the projects coordinator for Penn Malawi. Thank you.
Welcome, Danson. Are you there, Danson?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Anne. My name is Danson Kahiana. I'm the president of Ugandan Penn, and I'm very happy to be here to learn so much. And already we have learned so much from Chida, from Myanmar. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. Beatrice?
Hello, everyone. My name is Beatrice, Vice President, Penn, Uganda. I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you, Beatrice. Maria?
Hello, everyone. I joined Penn internationally
Penn International yesterday. So yes, this is actually my first webinar as well. And I'm gonna be the digital consultant for the African and Asian regions. So I will be working probably with you in the context of the civil society project. And I'm very, very happy to be with you and to hear all those amazing experiences. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Maria. Ross, I think you're the last person to introduce yourself. You're on mute, Ross.
Sorry. Yeah. So my name is Ross. I'm the regional coordinator for the Asia Pacific region, and yeah, I'm just here today as an observer, really, as I start to get involved in the CSP. But yeah, it's already really great to see all the different centers working together and sharing ideas and experiences. So look forward to seeing more of that. Thanks.
Mo, I think you haven't introduced yourself.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Imo Tay from Penn, Myanmar. I'm really happy to be here. This is my second webinar that I got to join. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're all introduced. I'm now quickly going to ask Romana if she would do a little presentation on the importance of diversity in your membership. Romana, I'm handing over to you.
Hello, everybody. So I won't take too long because I really want to hand over to Hege and to Alu, who are going to bring experience from the ground and from their centres. But just to start by saying that what we're seeing really are unprecedented times. The threats against freedom of expression are really unprecedented. The threats against creativity and expression are unprecedented. And at the same time as these unprecedented threats are encroaching across, across the civil space that we take up as Penn, we are now reaching our centenary. But we're reaching our centenary with pretty much an aging membership across the board. Although I see many, many young faces in front of me, across the board, really, we are a pretty much aging membership. And therefore, in order to meet the challenges that we're facing, we really need to pull together an army, literally an army of Penn members, so that we can face together these threats. And so I think a lot has already been said by Martida, so I was going to sort of touch on some of the things that she said. But one of the things I want to stress really is that the importance of diversity within our Penn centres. So as you know, all Penn centres are independent, and you all set your own membership policies. But I just want to really explain that for Penn International and for the writers that we defend and that we help to protect at Penn International, our vision of a writer is very large. And so, of course, the poets, the novelists, the essayists are the sort of core members of the past. But today, and I think Hege will speak a little bit more about this too, we also include amongst our membership translators, academics, publishers. We include journalists, we include bloggers, screenwriters, theatre, playwrights, songwriters. So for Penn International, really, we defend the rights of all those who use the written word. And so that diversity of writing would be a wonderful thing to have represented within the membership. It's also important that as we seek to create this army of Penn members that are going to defend the values and the mission of Penn, that we understand that we are all joined, we all adhere to the Penn Charter, and as we seek to grow our membership, that is the real message and doctrine that unites us all. So that is a really important thing to bear in mind, that when you're recruiting new members, that the new members accept and adhere to the values of the Charter. But not just the Charter, because as you know, over the course of the last few years, we've developed our Girona Manifesto, our Women's Manifesto, our Translators Manifesto. All of these manifestos are now incorporated in the body of the policies and vision of Penn. So it is important that we are able to reach out to as many diverse groups, as Tida was saying, that our centres are really truly representative of the of your own societies, essentially, so that we have a really broad mix of people from diverse opinions, diverse backgrounds, women, young people, from different ethnic groups and linguistic minorities. Penn is the place where all of these diverse and wonderful opinions can be shared. And that is really the mission of Penn, is to share ideas. And so Penn should be really a safe place where all of these ideas can come together, they can be discussed, they can be argued. Of course, not all people will agree with everybody else. We have, energetic arguments all over the place, which is really the fantastic, unique thing about Penn. We have to remember also, my dear friends, that we are unique because we embody literature, but we're also really an activist organization. And really, Penn writers will come to us for different reasons. They will want to join Penn for different reasons. Sometimes it may be because they feel that they will meet other writers. Sometimes it may promote their careers. But ultimately, that is all good. But ultimately, we come together as an activist organization to defend writers across the world and to promote our mission of freedom of expression for all, literature for all. I would just like to finish really by saying that it's important to bring your leading writers. That is, of course, important because it shows that we have influence and it shows that we can bring other writers. But we really need the energy of young writers, because for many of you, the responsibilities of running your centres falls on the shoulder of a very few numbers of people, 1 or 2, 3 or 4 committed people. And I think the real beauty of what Penn Norway and Penn Myanmar and Penn Sierra Leone have done is to build a team of board members and activists that are ready to take on responsibilities for Penn. So they're able to run diverse activities. So activities that will appeal to a broader audience, appeal to a broader membership, and by virtue of that, appeal to a broader public, which is what we want. And finally, I just want to end on the need for a membership which is diverse but accountable and open and democratic. So just as Penn International, as you know, is a democratic institution, it's really important that we are seen in Penn, in our centres, to being open and democratic, so that members have the opportunity to vote and to participate in the governance of their centres. So with that, I will stop because I could say lots more. And the point is really to share what Hege and Alu have got to say, but I'm open for any questions later on, I think. So back to you, Anne.
Great, thanks, Romana. That was lovely. I'm going to ask Hege to share her experiences from Penn Norway. And then I think what we'll do is we'll go straight into Alio's presentation as well. And then all of you can ask questions from both Hege and Alio. Is that a reasonable way of doing it? Yes, people happy with that? Yeah, good. Okay, so Hege, I'm going to hand over to you to do your presentation first.
Thank you so much, Anne, and thank you, Romana. That was a very good introduction. You were absolutely right to a lot of things I'm going to mention and speak about. Firstly, I would like to say that Norwegian Penn was established in 1922, so we are almost 100 years. We're 1 year behind the Penn International. And we are definitely an activist organization. We are not a literary club. We don't publish books and we don't promote our writers, in the Norwegian writers. There are so many other organizations and publishers that does that very well. That's not our obligation. Our obligation is to promote and protect freedom of expression and persecuted writers and imprisoned writers. And that's mainly what we do. We very shortly, because I mean, we are 3 people hired in, employed in Norwegian Penn. It's me, I'm the Secretary General. We have a communication officer, and we have also a coordinator for what we call the ICORN cities. ICORN is International Cities of Refuge Network, which secures safe havens for persecuted writers and journalists and artists all over the world. So safe cities all over the world. And in Norway, we have 17 safe cities. Over, I think it's over 80 writers and journalists and artists have come to Norway through this project. Very, very important. So that's just a short overview. I have, so you don't have to watch me. I have made a very sort of kind of simple, there you are. No, I'm going to, there. Do you see my screen now?
Not yet, no.
No. I was about to say a dirty word. I'm sorry. Share. Okay. Oh yeah, I have to push the share button.
Yeah.
Great. Well done.
Not this one. Why is it like this? Now it's, we're getting somewhere. There. Okay. Building your membership. I have first and foremost, I want you to ask yourself, or the censor, some questions. Why do you want more members? Who can be members? Why should people join your Penn Center? And how will you recruit more members? Those 4 questions we are continuously working on in Penn Norway to answer and to improve, because we do want more members. Because more members gives you more impact and gives you more force behind all your campaigns and activities, and it also opens doors into the media houses, into the politicians' offices, so we can talk to the media easier. We can have contact with the politicians easier because we have greater impact. We are reckoned with. It makes us stronger. That's why it's really, really important to have more members. And we have also more committed and involved members, because when you have committed and involved members, it's much easier. You are more people to campaign and do the advocacy for what you do, which is very, very important. And lastly, very, very important for us, as well as Penn International, and I suppose also for very, very many of your centers, is income. Membership fee. In Penn Norway, it costs $50 per year for being a member, which I said, which in turn also benefits Penn International, as 1/3 of that goes to Penn International as our due per each member. So the more members we have, the more dues we pay to Penn International every year. So it's a win-win situation for everyone, actually. The income for memberships in Norway, in Penn Norway, is about, I think it's about 8 to 10% of our total budget, which is significant. And then who can join Penn Norway? In Norway, in Penn Norway, we have a very, very open criteria for membership. As you can see, anyone who has made an effort for the free thought and the free word can apply for membership in Norwegian, in Penn Norway. And that means not only writers or journalists or artists, but I mean, academics, librarians, and anyone really. I mean, most people would, or students especially, many people, many professions, when they think about it, they think, yes, of course, I am dependent on being able to say and think and write whatever I want to in my daily work, and also have the access to information that I need to do my work. So it's in all, for every good reason. But what we do require of our members is that they most, like Romana said, they have to associate themselves with the Penn Charter. They have to follow the Penn Charter and also the statutes of Penn Norway. If you don't do that, and we haven't actually experienced that yet, but maybe sometime, because we are also open for people with opinions that we might not agree with. Of course, when your only criteria for being a member of Penn Norway is that you have made an effort for free thought and free speech, then that might be thoughts and speech that you are not really that you don't really welcome. But then in there, that's when the Penn Charter becomes really relevant, and we use the Penn Charter and say, okay, no, this promotes hate speech, you are out. So we have this security there. All members, everybody has to apply to the board for membership. So it's the board that decides who will become members or not. I have been looking around, on various Penn centers to see how they have organized their memberships. And I think in most Penn centers, the criteria for being a member is that you are a writer. As you know now, all understand, that's not the only criteria in the Norwegian Penn. But I've also seen that Penn centers, some have professional membership, which means that if you're a writer, publisher, translator, screenwriter, playwright, something, professional writer, then that entitles you to a professional membership. Some centers have reader memberships, which is maybe up something like what we are doing for anyone who advocates for freedom of expression. We do have actually institutional membership for publishing houses, booksellers, universities, and also organizations that work within human rights and that kind of thing, because we ask them for 500 to pay up from $500 to $1,000 a year in fee, and for that they don't get anything else in return except for a good conscience. But it's a way for us to increase our income and sponsorship. And we experienced, this is quite new, this was decided by our annual meeting 2 years ago, so we haven't really explored this to its full extent yet, but we experienced that a lot of organizations, because the amount is not so high that they can't afford it, and then they are also, then somehow they are associated with Penn Norway, which is a good thing, because we do have a very good name. And then you have, like in English Penn, it's an open membership. It seems like to me, it's like in Amnesty, that you just join, sort of. You pay a monthly fee and then you join for member. So it's various, but I think it's very important for the Penn centers to discuss, how many members do you want? Who do you want to become a member? And what do you want them to do? And what do you want to work with? Are you going to be a literary club? Are you going to, that's fine. That's really, really fine. And in very many countries, just being able to produce literature and to promote literature in itself is a huge, it's a huge task, a democratic task. So, really, so we all have to do what we are capable of in, within our, what we have for resources and means, and especially governments, and who you can cooperate with and not. We are talking about opening up for students, and having a, a cut down in the membership fee because students and senior citizens, and also to some degree writers themselves, they don't earn very much money. So we are talking about maybe to also offer a half a fee possibility for some members, certain categories. This is the membership development in Penn Norway from 2012 to 2019. Considering that we're almost 100 years old, and that Matilda just told you that even, you know, since 2013 they had 200 now. Yeah, it was 200 members. So this is not maybe not very exceptional and impressive, but it is actually because there are so many organizations, there are so many good causes to work for. And as you all know, as writers, there are a writers' union, there are other unions, other things that you are preoccupied and engaged in. So for us, I think the main target, we started out with targeting or contacting the writers' unions and translators' unions and all those kind of unions that use the free word to express themselves, that were naturally to become members of Penn Norway. And by doing that, you can see how it went. That very many of most of these are journalists and writers and academics. And then I say, what happened in 2018? What happened in 2018 was that we didn't get so many new members. And the reason for that is that we actually expelled at least 150 members. And we had to do that because we say to our members, you have to pay the fee every year, because I mean, that's our core funding. That's the only core funding we have. All the rest is project funding. And I spent days and days and nights, and Romana knows all about this, of course, applying for money from east to west. So this is the sort of only core funding, secure core funding we have, is the membership fees. So it's really important that we get in, that members pay what they owe us. And in our statutes, it says that if you haven't paid for 3 years and you've constantly been reminded and you still don't pay, then you can be expelled. In 2018, it was at least some people that hadn't paid for many years. So we just said, okay, we have to expel them. And so some of them came back, but most did not. That's why it was kind of a stagnation in the membership numbers. How to recruit members? Matilda talked a little bit about that, and I'm sure you will talk more about it. We'll talk more about it later. One thing that we absolutely have done is to ease up our member criteria. We used to be literary, I mean, only for literary members. That was the criteria. You had to be a member of the Writers' Union, Translators' Union, Publishers' Union. You had to be organized. You had to have something to show that you were a writer or working with literature. Not anymore. We went to the writers' unions and sent personal invitations to the writers, open invitations to members of journalist union, the Union for Librarians. I mean, they're obvious members of Norwegian Penn. We also have been inviting ourselves, and we still do that as much as we can, to organizations, annual meetings or other meetings, board meetings, to present our work, especially organizations that we cooperate with or we want to cooperate with. And we have also demanded that our board members recruit 5 members each every year, which is probably the hardest task to achieve, the hardest goal to achieve. But anyway, that really works because we had 12 board members. They are really committed, and now they have this internal competition. So do that in your own senses. I'm just going to say, okay. But the most important thing is impact and visibility. you have to, as I said, people have to know who you are, have to know what Penn is and what we stand for, and to even think about or considering being a member. So what we do is we mention and recruit at every Penn event, and we organize 40, 50 public events, and they're also free of charge every year. And they're all not, I mean, maybe 5, 6 of them are literary events. The others are public, are public debates concerning freedom of expression issues. That could be, surveillance, media, politics, whistleblowing, access to information, the situation in Turkey, Uyghurs in China, or the Tibetan community. Well, it can be a variety of subjects that we organize every year. And then we have a social media, press and public spaces, active on social media all the time, every day. One of you, I don't remember who it was, you're from Sierra Leone. You said that you would like to improve your online communication, and I think that is vital. That's alpha and omega to be able to achieve impact and visibility. But of course, it's easy for me to say, coming from Norway, we have hugely access to all the internet we want and everything. This will vary from country to country. So we are very fortunate. We have the capability and the sources to really use the information and social media and press as much as we can. And we also cooperate with a number of organizations. We see that that will make the impact of the event we are doing or the campaign we are doing twice as high. Like if we demonstrate in front of the Chinese embassy or the British embassy for the Assange case, then we will join up with Amnesty or the Helsinki Committee or other human rights organizations. And very many of you mentioned recruiting young people. You want to reach out and you want to, that's so good to hear, because we have all the same, we are all preoccupied with this. We are all the same issue. How can you reach out to the young people? And our experience is that we have sort of good cases. But what we do is, in that sense, maybe very much like the Amnesty works, that we have, writers that we want to fight for and promote. And we ask the young people to help us to write to the writers in prison, for instance. And using social media, doing that, it really reaches the young people. And be visible, be relevant. Just the last week, we got 800 new followers on Instagram within a day, because an influencer, a young girl with 800,000 followers on Instagram, she spoke warmly of Norwegian Penn and said, you have to, you have to join Norwegian Penn. And that really helped us. So we have to use all the things we can. Why should people join? And that's also one thing that you have to train. You have to talk to each other about. What is so special about Penn, and what is so special about your Penn Center? What are you doing that nobody else does? And then I list up, of course, a lot of obvious reasons. But I think this is really a very, very healthy and good discussion to have in the Penn Center and in the board of the Penn Center every year. We do it every year in Penn, Norway. That's of course when we make up the strategy of what are we going to focus on the next 3 years. We have to sort of touch base and say, who are we? What do we want? And how will we get there? And lastly, useful experiences, food for thought. What we experience, few people outside our own bubble know who and what Penn are. We have to face it. So we have still got this really, really information, what's it called, challenge to make people know who Penn are. What we experience is that our application process for being a member is too comprehensive. It's really very not user-friendly. So we are, next month, we will launch a new website, a new profile, new everything. So that this will be much easier. And also active members want to participate. They want to be a part of something. So just make sure that you have something useful for them to do. If they want to work on a certain issue, make a little committee for that issue. I mean, if it's freedom of speech amongst young people, then make sure you have a little committee for young people, I mean, including the young people, some from the board and the members that want to work with the young people, and let them meet together and plan how they can work things out. And as I said, we have to consider whether our fee of $50 is too high for some of our members, and that we'll consider. Yeah. Thank you. That was it. Stop share. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Hege. That was brilliant. That was really, really interesting. Everyone's clapping you. I can see there's lots and lots of claps. So well done. Before we go into questions for Hege, maybe you could write your questions down to remind yourself. I'm going to ask Aliu to do a little discussion or presentation from Sierra Leone. Are you ready, Aliu?
But can I just mention one
thing? Of course.
I am following the chat. So if people write the questions in the chat, I can see it afterwards. So that's fine.
Yeah. If people do that, please do use the chat box, and Hege says she will respond to that as well. So Aliu, can I hand over to you? You're muted, Aliu. Can you unmute?
Okay.
Great. I'm going to hand
over
to you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, you're on now.
Okay, fine, great. Okay, yes, I will start from here. We started in 2003 at Penn, Sierra Leone. Here we established the center, and immediately after the war year, we started slowly and at first. And in order to keep our membership drive, we had to organize programs, you know, literary evenings, literary events, and we also embarked on the competitions. I mean, the young generations, the youths, among the youths, school-going children, and we also organize literary workshops, you know, where we invite both the adult and young aspiring writers to join. And most of these things organized, we had to invite people through the radio. So we had radio invitations. So we come to these workshops, and that they come and then listen to what we teach them, listen to what we tell them about the importance of writing, about the importance of establishing Penn, Sierra Leone, because during the war year, most of our colleagues, members, journalists were killed, writers were killed. So we thought it fair to bring Penn International Chapter to Sierra Leone. However, in 2005, we thought that it's very necessary that we take the power of writing to the youth. And the best side we thought of was the schools. Yes, and we decided to go to the schools and catch the young coming people, to catch them young, to imbibe the culture of reading and writing to them. And so that is why our school program started. And that is where actually we really implemented the civil society programs throughout the year with funds from Penn International. And then at the school programs, we actually enlisted the support of the school's administration. So entered through the administrations, we talked to the English department, we asked them to give us facilitators. So these facilitators we use to organize the children for us in schools, so that we'll be able to, organize our program, we'll be able to implement our programs properly. So we'll go through these people. And over the years, of course, through funds from Penn International, we've been providing facilitation fees for these facilitators in the schools. And we are able to create space for promoting, creating interest and more interest in reading and writing. What we do in schools, first of all, let me tell you, we have about 20 Penn School clubs in the regions across the country. And 10 each in the region, is 3 regions that is starting, and then 20 in at Freetown. So like we are talking 50 Penn School clubs we are implementing, we are coordinating in these schools across the country. So we create space for promoting reading, interest in reading and writing. And in those spaces, what we usually do, we ask the children through the school club facilitators to write. And with the help of the school facilitators, we give them various thematic areas, things that are contemporary in Sierra Leone, such as freedom of expressions, and then such as early pregnancy, such as the importance of reading, the importance of child education and civic educations, how they should follow democratic dispensations in the country, and the importance of the women and girls in the community. So these are the thematic areas we usually give them to write on, and they present these write-ups, I mean, on a weekly basis, where they gather at a forum together with the school facilitators, together with the members of the Penn School clubs, and then they present their work, they present their writings, the write-ups, whatever they have done. So this is one of the areas of created space for promoting interest in reading and writing, especially among the school-going children, among the youths. And we, over the years, also organize writing competitions, generally where we ask them to write on themes like those I've explained, and then we collect those entries at national level, brought them to Freetown. We have to assess them, mark them, and then we give winning prizes to the winners in the regions across the country. It has been very good. It has been very interesting. People have been following up the activities at these regions. And we could not only stop at that. We actually also promote reading and writing through, published books. And we have large members beside the school clubs. That is the youth wing of our organization. These are autonomous bodies of the Penn Sierra Leone. But beside that, at the adult level of Penn Sierra Leone, we have people from various background experiences. We have writers, we have published writers, we have publishers. For example, we are working directly with the Sierra Leone Writers Series, and that is being organized by Mr. Sanko. He's now the principal of the Jala University, but he has that outfit through which we publish, manuscripts from our writers. We're also working with an organization in Canada, called CODE. CODE is the Canadian Organization for Development Through Educations. And they came to our help. They heard about us through most of these activities we do. And most of these activities we conduct, are being covered by the press, by the media. So because of that, our visibility is everywhere. People know about us, so programs come. We have people that come and partner with us. And CODE is such partner from Canada. Over the years, we've been working with CODE. We've published books, written and illustrated by Sierra Leoneans. And the project is called Reading Sierra Leone. Through Reading Sierra Leone program, we've been writing areas, especially we have, fragile states. We are coming from war, we are coming from epidemics, we are coming from, mudslide. So people come and then they ask us to write stories about our country, about Sierra Leone. So that is why the project is called Reading Sierra Leone. In Reading Sierra Leone, you write about our culture, you read about our, different ways of life, and we are writing these books for level 1 to primary schools, let me just put it, primary school, and the lower, the JSS, junior secondary schools. We've published about 30 manuscripts, 30 titles. We have them, and through these books, we deliver those books to less privileged communities in the country. And we are also having another partner through that Reading Sierra Leone project, who together with Penn Sierra Leone, we go to this community, we teach the children how to read these books, how to improve their reading, how to improve their writing. So we also having that members, and we are having, you know, through our membership, the United States Embassy in Freetown. We work with them from time to time. They help organize workshops for us, and they also help to deliver some of these books to the communities, to the less privileged communities, where we engage the youth, the children, to work to promote reading and writing. We also work with the British Council. In fact, at the starting of our program, the British Council had been very much instrumental. They've helped us a lot. And also, like the Faraway, the Forums for African Women Educationalists, these are some of the organizations we've been working with. And now, let me tell you some of the successes and challenges of this membership and of these activities we've been doing. In terms of the success, and of course, you'll agree with me that at the starting I said we do a lot, and during these implementations, we've been covered by the media. Through the media, we've been known. So it's like we receive people from all walks of lives, and those help us streamline activities for us at the center. If you want publisher, we know where to go. We can go to the Sierra Leone Writer Series. If we want people to help us with our planning activities, we have people volunteering to help us in this line. For example, the president, ex-president Mohammed Sharif is very much good at that. Our new president, Mr. Farouk, unfortunately, he's not in the country. He went to the US before this coronavirus invaded our country. He's there as I'm talking here at the moment, but he's very instrumental. He's always with us. These are some of the voluntary people. They always come to us. We have the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, and they have been very, very much active with us. We've been working together to fight the 1965 Public Order Act, which has been a project at Penn International. We've been working together through that project, together with other African centers, including Sierra Leone, Penn, South Africa, and Uganda, and Zambia. You know, fortunately for us in Sierra Leone, over the year, we've been working through advocacy with the support from Penn International. At the end of the day, we are very much happy. And again, I'm happy today that to report again that finally the 1965 Public Order Act has been expunged. There is no longer that draconian law, that defamation laws, tightening the freedom of expression in Sierra Leone. Another law through the IMC, the Independent Media Commission, has been replaced, has been in power, so that the dignity of people, should be maintained. So, Sludge is one of the people we've been working with. And the great side of it is that these are people that always come to us to work with us. So it's very successful. And in terms of challenges in building this membership at the adult level, well, you have people who always volunteer, but again, time is not much on their side. And again, in terms of remuneration, you know, at the center, we actually don't have regular funds to pay people. And that is one of the areas, that is one of the difficult areas we are finding very difficult to keep people at the center. Through some of these funds we have, for example, when we partner with CODE, the Canadian Organization for Development through Education, they engaged us for the past 3 years. They paid staff. Yes, we employed people, but it's like the project is dwindling. It has almost come to an end. So it's like most of the people we had employed, at the end of the day, they have to left. So we continue with working with volunteers again. And then wherever we have projects, and then there is always that administrative aspect of it, administrative and percent of it. So these are the funds we use to maintain our, voluntary, workforce. We pay our dues to Penn International. We take care of the utilities at the office. So by and large, that is also a very big challenge at the office. And then another big challenge is that, especially at the school club level, and you know, the teachers, they have their academic work. They have to mark paper. They have their, how do I call it? Their Thanksgiving, prize giving. You know, so at the end of the day, we realize that they are not working very much in our interest. And so when Penn International came the last time in 2019 to conduct an election, and also before that, one of your colleagues from Anne came also to evaluate our programs. I think that was in 2010. But again, Penn International came in 2018. They also evaluated our program. We give them open-handed. They went all around wherever we operated in the country. I mean, they, at the end of the day, advised us that since we are having problem with the school club, with the school facilitators, the children are willing, they are interested, they are really eager. You can see the enthusiasm in them to continue with the idea of this reading and writing. But because of the teachers, you know, they don't have more time. So we are encouraged by Penn International to switch, level of implementation. Instead of going to the schools and directly involving the school community, the schools and the facilitators. Now we decided to go direct into the community. We brought up the mobile library, project, which we delivered, which we implemented last year, wherein we went directly into the community. And this time around, we did not just focus school-going children. We focus also on all ages, especially the youth, those who are attending schools, those who've been attending but have stopped somewhere else at their, in their schooling. So we encourage all of these people, and then they became interested. And then we didn't use this again. We are using the community centers, you know, to, teach and promote reading and writing in this, area. And that is also where we've been working. But again, in that area, the big challenge is that, you know, you create the base, the foundation, the beginning of this project, people become interested and they want to continue. They wanted to continue, but again, the level of intervals, you know, is always the problem. And then there is always that disjoint. You start now, people are enthusiastic about it, they are learning, they are happy, and then after say 6 months or maybe a year, and then the project comes to an end, and then you have to wait for some time before you get back to them, before you, revamp their spirits, their, enthusiasm, their, So again, from time to time, it actually creates some issues, some challenges for us, So these are some of the successes and challenges in terms of what we've been doing over the years. And to talk briefly on what we would like to be able to do better.
And you?
Well, we still like to continue working with our youthful membership.
Good.
To bring them in our midst. We are looking at different ways, various ways doing that. So like I've said, also in that directions, we very much believe that going to the schools and then creating activities and also building online activities can bring us together. So because of time, and I'd like to thank everyone, over there at the other end for your attention. Thank you very much. I invite questions. Maybe through questions, I can bring out details of what we've been doing out, maybe which I have not explained for now. So thank you very much. I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, Alia. That was brilliant. Thank you so much. Really, really interesting. We have 15 minutes left, so I'm going to ask people if they have questions for either Hege or Alio. I see that Danson has already asked a question of Hege, which I'm hoping you've seen, Hege.
Yes. Sorry, I was just... Yeah, absolutely. I'll try to be short. I'll try to remember that what we're talking about here is how to increase members and the number of members, and not how we run our organizations. That's at least 10 other webinars. But what we do with the people, what we have in our statutes, considering that writers and so many of our members have low incomes, and we say, the board and Norwegian Penn Norway, we say that low income shouldn't be a reason for not being a member. I mean, that shouldn't be the reason for not being able to be a member of Penn Norway. So you can apply for apply to not pay your fee if you can't afford it, or some other reasons, good reasons. So you can apply, and the board say that's fine. So it's for those people that don't apply, and they just don't give us notice why they don't pay year after year after year. Those we expel.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions for Hege or Alio? Oh, Folu, you have a question.
Yeah, thank you very much. Aliu, let's start. Okay, well, the question is for both of you actually, but Aliu, you started this project in 2003, according to you, and then it's been ongoing. At least I was with you, I think 2015, and I saw the progress and things. And so, how is your center able to maintain the continuity of your project, all through the years? So I think that question might be for both of you. And then to Hege, I would like to really know how you've been able to, because you don't really concentrate on literary activities. And then then how, what is your unique selling point? At least, what do you tell people? Because at least from my experience in Nigeria, people who want to join want to ask, what is in it for us? What do we stand to gain by being members? After all, you don't have to be a Penn member to be protected by Penn activities. For instance, if you're a writer, if you're in trouble, at least Penn will be there to take care of you. So without you being a member, so why do I have to join Penn if well, Penn could still take care of me? And was it, especially since they are going to be required to pay their subscription, to be committed and all that. So those are my questions.
Okay, Hege, would you like to answer first? Then I'll ask Alio to answer.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I remember everything you asked about, but to take the last thing first, I think that's a really, really good question you ask, and that's the question every center should ask themselves all the time, or at least once a year. What's in it for our members? Why should they join our Penn Center? It's not really, I mean, I could talk for hours about all our events and activities, and it's not really correct that we don't have any literary events. Maybe 1/3, now 1/4 of our events are literary events, because we promote exile writers in Norway. They have a really, really hard time being published in Norway and getting the attention of the public and the press. So we think that our task is not to promote the Norwegian writers, because they have all these systems around them, but the exile writers, they need a voice in Norway, and that's, we help them doing that. And so we also have published 4 books with text from exiled writers living in Norway. So we do sort of have literary events. We have also literary events concentrating on literature from countries that are not very well known in Norway, like we have had from Eritrea, from Bangladesh, from Afghanistan, from various Chechnya. We have literature from all these different countries with because there are writers from these countries living in Norway, so that's also some way we can promote them. What we say to people that ask us, what's in it for you? What's in it for me? We say, good conscience. You contribute to save people, to promote freedom of expression. I mean, you don't get any free books or easily, I mean, that's what you get. As for the events we have, it's open for everybody. It's public events open for everybody, and they are free of charge. And the first question, I don't remember.
The first question was about how long you have been functioning. How have you managed to keep going for so long?
Yeah, well, we have been going on for very long. We established an office, a physical office in the year 2000. Before that, it was run like most other Penn centers, I think, by a volunteer board, doing meeting from time to time and doing as much as they were able to within their free time. So we started the office, and that was funded by the literary organizations and the Publisher Association in Norway, actually, that office. And they still contribute every year with funding for running of the office. Yeah. And for the projects, we get a lot of support from the Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And we also get support from, I think it's an organization that some of you might know. It's called Fritt Ord. It's in English, it's the institution Free Word Institution. And they finance actually projects all over the world. So also our projects, yeah.
Thanks, Hege. Aliu, would you like to answer the questions? Aliu, are you there?
Yes, and I'm here. Thanks for that question. Yes, the centers began in 2003. Yeah, it was very much difficult at the beginning, and gathering people, I mean, encouraging them to come to the center and help build and empower it. So in the process, I would say there are a lot of commitment, dedications, perseverance. These are some of the words, some of the things, the courage we had. And we talk to people, volunteers, they come in and chips in whatever assistance they have. But the spirit has always been there. And then we go up there and knock on the doors of people. We ask them for assistance. We volunteer much. I mean, through our own, personal pocket, we spend just to ensure that the centers is built on the strong foundations and it continues. And then the first executive secretary, Mike Butcher, who actually was the founder, I worked very hard to, put the center on a very good footing. He left us for Liberia here. He opened out a Penn Center. And then, of course, in his absence, we've continued the project activities. You know, there are times we struggle. We write a lot of project proposals. We send them out. There are times some of them are successful, some of them are not successful. We are very much grateful to Penn International. Through the civil society programs, through their own, project activities. We have not been actually gone with long for project activities. And these project activities that we've been doing, help create our visibilities. And through that, we are able to gain, a larger audience and help from other people. So losses are there. Of course, I always have some challenges. Thank you. That's what I can say.
Thanks, Aliu. We have time for one more question. I was going to ask, Wesi has asked a question. Wesi, do you want to put your question to Aliu? Maybe I'll do it for you. Alia Wezi has asked, has the introduction of facilitation fees improved the situation?
Okay, if I can understand, asking if facilitation fees has improved the situation. Well, these are small token money we give to them, and they actually were comfortable with it. They are always asking for more. And of course, we talk to them that these are voluntary organizations who are trying to help their children at the schools. Yes, and they can understand that. But actually, what has been the great problem at the facilitation issue is that the teachers are overwhelmed with school works. And like I've said, over the years, they had a lot of school activities, including sport activities, Thanksgiving. They have to teach, they have to and also they have problems with payment of salaries from the government. So all these are discouragement to them. So these are the things that makes things very difficult. But if there is, a reasonable, amount of facilitation fees, I think they can cope up because they are interested in money, but we don't have more to give them. So we always talk to them to see reasons and help us.
Brilliant, thank you. Wesley has a second question. What has been the overall impact of your programs on your membership? And how are you able to retain membership of new recruits coming in as a result of those interventions? Hege, I wonder if you have a response to that question.
Yeah, volunteers. Somebody, you and others have mentioned the volunteers, and we have a lot of volunteers in Penn, Norway. We engage every time we get a new member, we ask them if they want to do some volunteer work for us. And of course, these are really, really competent persons. They are translators, writers, journalists, filmmakers, artists. So they have really a very, very broad variety of qualifications that we can use, and that they really would like us to use. They would like to be sort of used as both. Yeah. And I think the effect of that, the effect that the members see that other members are active. And we also have a lot of committees and they are preoccupied with certain issues that we deal with. And that was, media politics, as I said, surveillance, the multicultural society in Norway, for instance, whistleblowing, and freedom of expression for young people. And all these committees are consist of volunteer work from members, and they work a lot. When they are dedicated to something, they really go in for it 100%. And other members see that because they Twitter about it, they post things about it on Facebook, and their friends see it on Facebook, and then they say, how can we be members and how can we be active in Penn Norway? So it's a kind of a very good circle. Which I think is very helpful and useful. So absolutely engaged volunteers, and ask them to make it known in their social medias and social networks, because then you have the jungle telegraph, as we say in Norway, that's the word goes around and it just circles. So, and we have elections every year. Democratic elections also this year, and I suppose we're going to have one in Penn International as well at the Digital Congress. We had a digital election in the beginning of May, which was really quite efficient and very, very good, because there were at least 3 times as many present at the digital election as it usually is at our physical elections. So.
Brilliant. Thank you, Hege. I'm really sorry we've run out of time. It's been so exciting. We've run out of time. So I'm just going to ask Nduko to share some resources that we can all use. And we were going to get you to do an exercise, a task at the end, but what we're going to do is when you get sent the recordings of this workshop or this webinar, we'll also send the task with it, with a list of questions that you can ask yourselves in your own centres to help you think through this whole issue of membership. We did prepare something, but we'll send it, sorry, for you to use in your centres. So Nduko, I'm going to hand over to you, sorry.
Sorry, and thank you. Thanks so much, everyone, for the rich sharing. And as we can see, there's already a lot of resourcefulness within the movement based on the practice of colleagues. So hopefully there's going to be a lot of peer-to-peer connection to learn more and go deep. On the screen, you'll see two resources we are recommending that you take an interest in reviewing. The first one is it's a TED Talk, and the notes that came from that TED Talk by two very experienced movement building professionals, Jeremy Heymans and Henry Timms. And in it, you'll see that building movements, and that is what Penn is about, is it's intentional. Movements don't happen, they don't grow by accident. It has to be a lot of purposeful and intentional work where we make it easy to find connected individuals who in turn help attract members. And I think that's the experience we've seen from Penn Myanmar and also Penn Sierra Leone and Penn Norway, that you have connected individuals who in turn connect other people to the movement. It's about changing notions of engagement, notions of participation, notions of leadership, and what actually thrives a movement. It's a very interesting presentation, and especially within it, you will find a link to a video that shares very interesting examples of ideas that initially appeared small, but because of a compelling presentation and a compelling engagement with potential members, they thrive very, very quickly. And then the second resource that we will be sharing is a PowerPoint presentation that I've used in movement training in the past. And really the gist of this presentation is to help us understand the nature of movements. They go beyond organizations, they go beyond institutions. And there's an interesting metaphor, a number of slides that present the metaphor of a car. When you look at the moving power of cars, but then the different components that make a movement thrive and grow, the complexities, but also the importance of connecting with what really makes human beings want to continue to engage with that process. It's a sense of what is in it for me, but does the space also give me space to participate in different hierarchies, so that you find that is in our nature as human beings. We don't join initiatives just because the initiatives are there, but is a mind connection, a heart connection, and emotional connection that actually by participating, I can make a contribution, but I also gain from it. So I'll encourage you to look at those resources just to keep this conversation going, and hopefully getting ideas, easy to use and interesting tactics that would hopefully encourage us to imagine more of what potential there is in growing our centers. Thanks so much, Anne.
Thanks, Nduka. That's really interesting. I really want to say thank you, everyone, particularly Hege and Matid and Alio for fantastic presentations and sharing your experiences. I know all of us have gained a lot this morning. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to call it to close because it is 1 o'clock and we should be closing now here in the UK, whatever time in your own countries as well. So take care, everyone stay safe, and we'll speak to you all at the next webinar. Bye.
Oh, Musa Sharif.
Bye,
Musa.
thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Anne. Thank you, everybody.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.